Hi friends, I'm excited to be here with you today to share a new layout for the Shimmerz Paints design team. I started this layout with this stencil from Pear Tree Cut Files, and I just added some texture paste to it really quickly. I knew I was going to need to set that off to the side to dry before I added any of my great Shimmerz colors, so I did that first. And then I'm going to set that off to the side. And then for this layout, I am going to be using the Happy Days collection by Cocoa Vanilla. And so I pulled out a bunch of flowers that I knew I wanted to use, and I got busy fussy cutting those and trimming all around them. I did trim off the white border off of all of those flowers and leaves, but I'm not gonna make you watch that because that's super boring. So then I took the sheet that I had put the texture paste on, and I sprayed on some of the new Color Splash, the acrylic, the glossy acrylic spray. So I did that first, and that's all over on that left side on those sun rays. And then I am using the June color kit. So the first color that I added was the Shimmerz Pull Me Close. That's that beautiful light blue kind of turquoisey color. It is so full of shimmer and shine. So I added that to the top just with a paintbrush. The shimmers in the pot, they already come wet. So you just add them to your paper or whatever project you're doing. And I did add a little bit of water just to spread it out. And then the second color I used is also a Shimmerz, and it's Iris My Case from the June color kit. Both of these are super shiny and shimmery and bright and beautiful. So I loved both of those colors, especially with this collection. And then I love if you haven't gotten your hands on any of the Color Splash sprays yet, you definitely should, because those are fantastic. And they, that yellow over there is going to dry with a glossy finish, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So I definitely would recommend getting your hands on that. You can see I did pick up my paper a little bit and add some water. I did want those colors to kind of run together a little bit. And then I did add some white splatters from the June color kit. The pipe cream spritz, I just used the lid to add some splatters of that color. And then, because I just wanted a little bit of white splotches in there. And then I did add a few splatters of the Vibes, the Rip Van Winkle that's also part of the June color kit. So that, I used four of the 5 colors from the June color kit. If you ordered that, if you didn't, you should, because it's fabulous. All right, so that is, did a little bit more. I did go back and add just a little bit more water just because I wanted those colors to kind of blend just a touch more. And then I am going to add back on the stencil. So this is the same stencil that I did the texture paste with, and I pulled out a couple of Distress Oxides. That's Fossilized Amber is that first color. So on the part that has the texture paste, I went ahead and went back and added, to make those rays stand out just a little bit more, I added some of that Distress Oxide. And then to the center, just around the middle, I'm adding an orange. Can't remember exactly what color that was, but it's also a Distress Oxide. Any orange would work. All right, so now I have my photos. That's all had time to sit and dry. And I've got my photos there, and I am backing those with a couple of different layers of patterned paper. I'm going to distress the edges. I did tear the bottom of this piece of paper. You can't really tell that it's torn versus just using the edge distresser, so it didn't really make much of an impact, but I do love how torn paper looks. So I went ahead and distressed the edges of all of that. And then I am going to add craft foam in between. So I've got 2 layers of patterned paper there, so I'm adding craft foam in between the 2 layers of patterned paper just to kind of help it stand out a little bit more. And my craft foam is just cheap craft foam from my local craft store. I even add my own adhesive, so it's very basic. And then I'm going to add another layer of craft foam behind that last layer. And I will tell you, anytime you're going to glue something onto all of that mixed media on the background, you definitely want to use a good wet adhesive So I use Scotch tacky glue, and that seems to work really well. But if you just use the tape runner, it's going to be really hard to stick things to some of those shiny, shimmery, metallic mediums. All right, and so now I have taken all of those flowers that I fussy cut the white edges off of, and I'm going to be adding those tucked around my photo. So I'm going to be doing the top left and then the bottom right. I did pull these flags out from the collection. So they say yay, hello, and then hello and fun. So I'm going to be using all three of those little flags from the Cocoa Vanilla collection. You can see I'm also trimming the white border off of those, which is sort of a tedious little task there. And then I did use my X-Acto knife here just to get the center. There was a little piece of white between the flag and the pole that it's on, so I did use my X-Acto knife to cut that out. And I'm going to distress those edges as well. And then the flags, I loved these all together because I love that two of them are facing one direction and the other one is facing the other direction. So I kind of like how the balance of that, how that looks. So I cut the poles off of the other ones and just added them to the one pole. So it looks like they're all flying on the same thing there. Sorry, I'm a little close to the camera. I'm just kind of bending up the edges and the banner parts of that. And then all of my flowers, before I adhere those down, I'm also going to curl up. That's what I'm doing right now, just kind of bending up the petals of each of those flowers. I don't really like anything on my layout to be flat on the background, so I do curl up everything. And then all of the flowers, as I add them, I'm going to add them with different levels of craft foam. So I have just that craft foam that I was using to back the photo, that same craft foam. And then I have some that are thicker that I'll use because I want them to look layered and I don't want them to be kind of all at the same level. So we'll add those all around. And then if you've been following my videos, you know I'm scrapping through my Jamaica trip from last summer. So these are two pictures of my sweet babies. They're sitting on a little swing right in front of the ocean. And I loved those pictures. And I love that the Shimmerz colors are beautiful with the colors of the ocean in the pictures. Especially that the Pull Me Close. That's like the color of the water. So I thought that was beautiful. So here I am just kind of gonna build the floral clusters at the top and left of the photo. I do want the flowers to kind of look like they're draped on the photo. So I've got them on the top and then they're gonna kind of look like they're draping down the left side of that photo. So wanted them to look like they were kind of naturally hugging it there. As natural as fake paper flowers can look. And I do end up covering up a lot of that background. That's always a hard thing for me, is to cover up the mixed media because it's my favorite part. But I do end up covering up quite a bit of it, but you can still see that beautiful yellow poking out, and then you'll definitely be able to see the blues on the right side. I did go and add in some leaves. That definitely helps if you have a bunch of flowers. Making a floral cluster definitely helps to add lots of green leaves for that greenery. And varying the direction that the leaves are facing. So not all facing like straight up or straight to the right. You want them to kind of be facing all different directions. And that'll help your clusters look a little better. And those leaves, those are pretty tedious to cut the white border off of, but definitely love how they look. They look very tropical. They make the whole clusters look tropical. So those are important. Okay, so I did skip ahead a little bit. So I did do a little journaling circle down there on the bottom right, mixed in with the cluster that I built down there. And then I'm adding some puffy hearts from that Happy Days collection. I love those little fabric puffy hearts. And then there's also some puffy sticker hearts. So I added some of those, the little circle ones, to the middle of some of the flowers, and then I'm going to add some more around those puffy hearts. I love to build clusters that have lots of little different details in them, so that when you look at the layout, every time you look at it, you see different details. So you definitely have to zoom in to be able to see all those little tiny things. But when I'm looking at the layout, I love to, or like when I'm looking back at layouts, I love to notice, oh, I did that, oh, I did this. It's kind of fun. Keeps things interesting for sure. I did go back here and add some more of that Shimmerz Iris in my case, just because it was very much covered up, and I definitely wanted that color. I love how that color looks with this collection and with the photos, so I wanted that color to stand out. So I did go and add just a little touch more of that down below that journaling circle and those flowers. And here I'm just adding in those last few leaves that I had cut. It definitely helps the clusters look fuller to have all of those leaves poking in and out in every which way. Okay, so here I did pull out some like little gems and half pearls from my stash to add to the centers of all of the flowers. Anytime I'm adding paper flowers to a layout, I definitely like to go and add little embellishments just to help them stand out and jazz them up a little bit. And these add lots of sparkle and shine as well. And then I do add them around in little clusters, poking in and around the floral cluster. So I usually add them in groups of 3, sometimes 5, 4, I don't know, different numbers, but I like to add them in little groups. And then my little quick stick there, that's from We Are Memory Keepers. That's just got a little sticky end, and it helps me pick up all of those little embellishments, and then it helps you easily. You can stick them to the layout and then twist, and they stay on there. So it's a great tool, life-changing for me. I used to do that all by hand, and it took forever. Okay, and so then I got some liquid pearls that are in coordinating colors, and I went and added just a few little dots of that around those embellishments, and then around my flowers. All right. So again, most of the colors that I used today were from the June color kit from Shimmerz Paints, and then I did add in that Color Splash, that new glossy acrylic formula, to the layout. And all of these things I would highly recommend. I absolutely love these products that I'm using. If you do place an order, be sure and put Sarah Millerhouse in the comment section, and you will receive a free gift. And then here are some still photos of the layout, and I hope you enjoyed the process today. If you have any questions, pop them down below and give the video a like if you enjoyed it, and tap the bell for notifications. Thanks, guys. Bye.